Yes, indeed, friends. This is webinar. Yes, friends, this is Webinar Wednesday. Today we are talking about finding your purpose, a fighting hippie's guide to living passionately. So I'm going to get straight into it here. I want to give you a different perspective on what I believe purpose is. I feel like I am somewhat of an expert here because I've spent a lot of hours chasing purpose for the wrong reasons. I'll talk about that shortly. And I believe this is a different view of purpose that is somewhat depressing, but can be empowering if you look at it the right way. And hopefully I'm going to get you to look at it the right way. So this is the start. Find your passion. Let me do that again. Find your passion with a your crossed out. It's just find passion. This is, in my opinion, this is the key to life in general. Finding passion. If the whole reason, I was going to say you, but I wanted to find purpose because I thought that if I found my purpose, then I would then be motivated, I would be passionate, I would no longer be confused, I would no longer be directionless, I'd never be lost, I would just have my purpose and I just worked at it. Simple, and just solve all my life problems. That's why I wanted to find my purpose. But there's a few things here. People who whinge a lot and are victims are pretty unlikely to find their purpose, right? Because they don't yet know how to enjoy life. People who find their purpose, find their thing, sportsmen, whatever, tend to be people who are just fucking high on life. Okay, they're just passionate about life, and they're probably passionate about scrubbing floors, or they at least can find passion in it, that they're hardworking. Whingers and victims don't find their purpose because they're too busy looking at all the negatives, so they could stumble across their purpose and they wouldn't enjoy that either, right? If there is such a thing as your purpose, okay? So I'm going to show you in this first few slides about finding passion for life, because in the end, if you can do that, if you're just passionate for the moment, it doesn't matter if you find your purpose or not, because you're fucking passionate about life, right? So that is, in my opinion, the whole point of life is finding passion. Gratitude is passion. When you think about passion for life, gratitude is passion. Grateful. When you're grateful for the moment, you're grateful for life. And this is one of my favorite quotes. Enjoy this moment, for this moment is your life. This is by Omar Khayyam. There's only this moment. There's only right now. You can time travel to the future. You can imagine a future, but it's in your imagination. You can go to the past, but you're imagining it. I can't hold the past. I can hold a book written in the past, but I'm holding it now. It was written in the past, but I'm holding it now. I can't speak to handshake someone from the past that's passed away. They're gone. So as far as physical reality, if there is such a thing, there's only nowness. There's only right now. This is Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, okay? You can time travel to the future, but you're doing it in your mind. And the past, but you're doing it in your mind. And you're doing it now, okay? So if you can enjoy this moment is your life, because now it's another moment. Now it's another moment. In 10 years' time, it'll be this moment. There can only be this moment. So if you can honestly make it a thing that I'm enjoying this moment, really deeply enjoying the moment, including the moments that are fucking hard, including challenges, including failures, including when you're lost, including when you're purposeless. If you're enjoying those moments, in my opinion, this is the purpose of life, is to enjoy the moment, right? And that is a constant practice of doing again and again. And it's hard. I should say hard work. It's hard practice. You got to practice again and again. I'm far from being good at this, except when I'm talking about it, when I feel very passionate and clear. So we're starting in order here. Gratitude for this moment. Oh, now let me just go back here a second. Gratitude for this moment. A quick way to feel grateful for this moment, I like Anthony Robbins' way of doing it, is if you just stop right now and breathe. If you hear and feel, I can feel the carpet under my feet. I can hear the fan going. I can see the light. I've got electricity. I'm in a house, I'm not getting wet from the rain. I've got power, I don't need to rub sticks together to make fire tonight. Gratitude for the simple things. If you can truly be like, fuck yeah. And the only way to sometimes be super grateful for that stuff is to go spend some time in the bush where you're wet and cold and you're hungry and you're making fire. You come back to your house and like, wow, I've got it so easy. And your house might suck in your opinion of what you want for a house or a life, whatever. Being grateful for this moment, sometimes if you take yourself out of it and make it life hard for a bit, come back now, you're like, oh, I'm living good, okay? So gratitude for this moment. What can you be grateful for right now in this very second? What can you see, hear, and feel right now in your life that you can be grateful for? And then we can move to gratitude for the past. I've written down therapy because, in my opinion, all good therapy is just cleaning up the past. There's nothing negative back there. In my opinion, if there's anything in the past that you look back to and you feel negative emotion or restriction in your body just thinking about it, it hasn't been cleared yet. As in, there's still shit in the past you've got to clear. Any moment that's embarrassing, any moment that's painful, traumatic, anything from the past, in my opinion, you can clear all of it. Doesn't say it's easy, but you can clear all of it. Now, let me give you an idea about this. If there's stuff in the past that's traumatic, it can be small or big trauma, whatever. If there's emotion stored in your body still from it, that means your body is still, the nervous system is still in fight or flight mode, looking out for that danger constantly, because it's still scared of it. So someone reminds you of that person that hurt you, you feel the emotion in your body. If you got failed in a goal one time and it really fucking hurt you and it crushed you, now you start procrastinating when it comes to goals, because your brain starts thinking, if I go for goals, I get hurt. Anything in the past, if you haven't cleared the emotion out of it, restrictive emotion out of it, so it's just neutral, it's just an event, you're living in fight or flight mode. Your nervous system is running you. Your consciousness is not running you, okay? So I want you to be aware of that. This is good therapy, in my opinion, is clearing out the past and you can be grateful for, or the emotions gone from all the past events. When we talk about coaching, this is more like working into the future, but it also involves clearing the past out so that you've got a clear run. There's no anchors holding you back to setting your goals in the future. So an idea about gratitude for the past. If you can think back to not a crazy traumatic memory, but something that is embarrassing, for example, or a painful failure, if you can look back now and feel, how did that event, even though painful in the moment, write down, how did it actually serve me? How am I now smarter from it maybe? How did I grow? How am I stronger from it? How am I more resilient from it? What did it teach me? How am I a better person for it? How am I in better relationships from it? Did it force me to work harder at things that I should have been working at already? There's a million things you can look through. The book, The Magic, I'm going to mention in a second, is the best way, in my opinion, to go into this. The Magic by Rhonda Burns taught me how to be grateful. And it's one of those powerful personal development books in the world, in my opinion, because of that teaching. There's another one of her books called The Secret. Gratitude for the Future. This is what they talk about as the idea of manifesting, or the law of attraction. I'm not fully on board yet because I haven't seen it in my world yet. But the theory that you can imagine, feel creation into the world. I'm starting to believe it's possible. We can manifest with our hands. I believe we're time travelers. You can travel in the future. And if you can do it vividly enough that you start to feel grateful for a future that's yet to occur, this is what they're talking about, is you're attracting that into your world. When you start to be grateful for it, that means you must be feeling it fully. You must be there, time traveling in your mind. Then you get the point of like grateful for the challenges to get yourself there. Not just okay with them, not just getting through them, but fucking grateful for them. This is when we're talking about gratitude for the future and the law of attraction. Not my expertise, but I'm just reciting what the teachings there. And the last one is gratitude for challenges. This is the book, The Magic, I was talking about. In this book, it's like a 30-day plan on how to be grateful. Because I'd already been told about, you should be grateful, but I've never been told how to be grateful, which to some people might seem silly, but this book is powerful, okay? And this is pretty much the order it goes in. Gratitude for the moment, past, the future, until you can be grateful for your challenges. Not the challenges in the past, that's clearing the past out. Grateful for the challenges you're in now, as you're going through them. Right? You can think about it in terms of a workout. I can be grateful when I'm going through a hard workout that my body's suffering, but I'm enjoying that because I know what it's giving me. Or if I'm training for a fight or I'm training for something, I'm like, if this isn't hard, that means I'm not pushing hard enough for the end goal, because I'm thinking about being in the future and how hard that's going to be, and this is preparing me for it. So I'm growing because of this hard workout. That's a good way of thinking of it. Challenges don't have to be physical, they could be emotional hurdles. It could be you trying to find your purpose and you're feeling so fucking lost and confused right now. How could you be grateful? Maybe that lost and confused is needed for you to find the purpose, but you don't know that yet. So you can start to imagine, make up reasons to be grateful for it, right? So I'm not going to go much more into gratitude. I'll do a whole other webinar on that. But this gratitude is, in my opinion, the whole reason. It is the ultimate power source. When you can start to see the light in the dark, when you can start to see positives in negative events, you are a master manifestor. There can be no more problems. There's just isness of life. So this is, in my opinion, the one skill in life to learn gratitude for the moment. In my opinion. And the whole reason we're on the planet, in my opinion, as humans, that's why we're on the planet. Next slide, karmic pull. So this is David Data. This is his take on purpose And a simple question he puts out is, and you can imagine this, and so close your eyes now, think about this. Imagine yourself on your deathbed when you can no longer move, you can't talk anymore, the beeping of the beep of the machinery around you in the hospital, for example, and there's no more, you cannot create more in the world. What would you have needed to have done by that point to feel like you can let go and die complete? What needs to happen between now and then for you to say, I live fully, I have nothing, I have no regrets? Is it having sex with more women? Is it making a certain amount of money? Is it having 10 more children? Is it creating the business you've been dreaming of? Is it testing yourself in some way physically? Achieving something in a sport? What for you? Everyone's gonna be different. What for you do you need to do to die complete? To feel like you can get to that deathbed and be like, okay, I can let go. That's his question. It's a powerful question. So I call this karmic pull. We're gonna talk about karma here in a second, a different way of describing karma. And this is my elaboration of his teachings and John Demartini's teachings about karma. And I might be off a little bit, but I want you to hear this, my perspective on it. The karmic pull, that you yourself will be drawn to specific things, different to the person next to you, different to your family. You'll be pulled towards certain things. And particularly when you're pulled to certain things that are painful or challenging or hard to do, and you still keep going back to them, most likely this is something to do with your purpose. It's unlikely. As I said earlier, I was chasing purpose thinking it's all going to be sunshine and rainbows. It's going to be a smooth road. Okay? I asked before about, I said the quote, enjoy this moment because this moment is your life. I want you to think about that for a moment. If I could give you a life where you just could sit right where you are now, you don't move again, and you're in bliss, high on MDMA or whatever your drug of choice is, or whatever that is that lights you up, but you're just in bliss and euphoria, but you do nothing for the rest of your life. You sit in that one spot. You do not do anything more in the world. Most of you men would not take that if I offered it to you, especially younger men, because you feel like there's still shit you've got to do in the world. In fact, the truth is, when we talk about gratitude, when you really get down to the depth of it, you like the fact there's challenges, you like the fact there's failures, you like the fact that it's hard. It's the fucking whole point of life. If it was easy, you'd be fucking, if it was all a smooth road, you get so bored so quick. You probably really live that lifetime out, right? This lifetime, this human experience is to have challenges and to work your way through them. And David Dade talks about that. He says, your purpose on this planet is to go through the challenges you're going through right now. That's why you're here, to go through those challenges and to work at how to emotionally get through them. It's a cool way of looking at the world. So in his book, David Dade's book, The Way of the Superior Man, there it is there, my most gifted book in the world to men and women, is a chapter on purpose layers. So I describe it as onion layers, so I've got a picture of an onion there. He describes it purpose layers that you're going to burn through. This is talking about karma as well. Everyone in life has karma layers, purpose layers they've got to get through. As a man, generally, you're going to go through first desire for maybe power, or like social standing, then it'll be sex, then it might be money, then it might be creating a business, then it might be creating a family or having children. That's generally what happens, something like that. But every person's karma is different. Like, for example, some young dudes you meet, they settle down and get married at 18 and they don't have no more desire to have lots of sex, lots of women. Some men are desperate to make money and some men are not. This you might call nurture, you might call it nature of the person, I call it karma. I call it maybe stuff from past life coming through you, but you are called to do some things. And the things that are probably most far out and weird, that you think are weird, or people think are weird, that you're called to do, are most likely aligned with your purpose. The things that are hard and you suffer and you fail and you still want to do them, most likely attached to your purpose. So unlikely it's going to be a smooth road. It's things you keep getting called back to, despite the fact they're hard, are most likely part of your purpose. You can't get away from them because your karma is calling you into them. What he also says is, going back to that, if you do not burn through those layers of karma, so if you need to have sex with 100 women or 100 beautiful women or whatever it is, or make it $10 million, if you don't do it in this lifetime because you don't have the courage to go after the goal, or you're scared of failure, or because you think society says, no, you're not meant to do that because of feminism or masculinism or whatever, toxic masculine, whatever, or your family says you shouldn't be doing that, and you choose not to go after this thing that your heart, your soul, your karma is desiring, then you will have to come back another life to burn it. Your karma is going to stay there. Your consciousness is still going to have that same karma. So whether you don't do it in this lifetime, you will have to burn through it another lifetime. You will come back because you will feel it incomplete. You'll be incomplete in you. This is a way of saying it. That can be depressing or it can be exciting, that you've got a certain amount of karma you've got to get through. Get through it in this lifetime, or you come back until you get it all done. Now this is John DeMartini. He's a super influential person in my life. I talk about him a lot. I've just done his breakthrough experience late last year. And John DeMartini talks a lot about Taoism, and the yin yang is in my extreme stillness logo because of him. If you cut this yin yang through any angle, through the middle, you will end up with the same amount of light and dark, the same amount of white and black, the same amount of good and bad, the same amount of sun and moon, the same amount of water and fire. Everything is equal in Taoist way of seeing the world, and in the universe everything is equal. And this is what John DeMartini starts all his work with, is the fact that everything is equal. His stuff's really powerful. In regards to purpose, he talks about aligning with values. He's big on purpose. He talks about aligning with your values. He has a values determination process you can get online for free. So look that up, Value Determination, DeMartini. But as far as regarding the purpose, he talks about the fact that there's no good or bad, there's only upsides and downsides. There's white and black. Most people, when they think of their purpose, they think, I'm going to be a movie star, that must be my purpose. But they're only thinking about the good, the success, the fame, the money, whatever it is that they think is success from that. They're not yet looking at the dark, the time, the paparazzi, the amount of time you got to spend in your room getting ready for act, the amount of times you got to go for a job and get fail, trying to get acting jobs, whatever it is. There has to be the same amount of black to white. You can cut out a yin yang and just keep the white, but you're not looking at the whole picture. So he says, it is, again, this is my way of teaching, of passing on his teachings. Once you are fully conscious of the dark and the light in an action you want to go towards, in a goal you want to achieve, in your purpose, if you're very aware, consciously aware of the darkness, the suffering, the pain, the failure that's going to be also involved in the success and the good and the positives of this purpose, and you still want to go for it, most likely it's attached to your purpose, because you'll be drawn towards these things that can be aligned with your unique set of values. So once you're very clear in the dark and the negative and you still want to go for it, as I said, it's the same thing with David Data, and you still want to go for it, this means most likely it's aligned with your purpose. That's a good sign for me working with people, that it sucks, it's hard. That's a good thing that it's aligned with their purpose, because they keep coming back to it. So this next slide's about creating a purpose, okay? This is ikigai. This is a Japanese term for a reason to get up in the morning. And this is a cool way, in my opinion, if you want to start working, actually putting action into finding the things that are your purpose, this is a good way, in my opinion, to start. So here's 4 questions to ask yourself. Number 1, what do you love? You just brain dump on that. Give yourself like 10 minutes and don't stop writing till you've done 10 minutes. Then you ask friends their opinions of what you love, because sometimes we're blind to our own self. Second question, what are you good at? Again, 10 minutes at least brain dumping. This can take you probably years of working again and again and going back to it, but start asking other people as well. What am I good at? Find out, brain dump. What am I good at? Big list of that. Number 3, what can you be paid for to do? Again, brain dumping. What can I be paid to do? Anything, just brain dump that. And where those all interlock, it's starting to be like a passion for you, okay? And the last one is when we talk about maybe purpose, okay? Purpose, just by the word of it, if you think about the word purpose, is a giving, isn't it? You're here to serve. You've got a reason to be here. It's unlikely going to be to do with you. You will start off in the early karma layers, hedonistic. It might be chasing sex for you. It might be your own pleasure. It might be money for you. But eventually, as you burn through those karma layers, it just won't feel. And do to know this, once you've got it a few years now, once you've had enough sex with enough women, or you've made enough money, it just won't, you'll be like, oh, this thing I used to do that used to really drive me just doesn't anymore. That's, you've burned through the karma, right? You've done it now, you've cleared that. It no longer drives you. Now you're on to the next layer of purpose, karma. This is David Data's way of saying it. So, this last question, what the world needs, is the last thing you brain dump on. What does the world need? When we talk about the world, it might be the globe if you've got a big goal, but it might be your family, or it might be your town or your country. What does your world need? Is it more openness? Is it more masculinity? Is it more fight? Is it more fire? Is it more grit? Is it more happiness? Is it more love? Or something much more specific? Obviously, I'm just giving you ideas here. What does your world need, in your opinion? What's it lacking? And how can those three things you've written about lock in with the fourth to be a purpose? How can you give your gift to solve that problem? So this is why you guys are super cool. So therefore, good question to ask yourself to finding your purpose. If there's one thing, giving your gift to the world, understanding that once you burn through that layer of karma, that purpose is going to go. You might take all the skills you've learned to get to the next layer, deeper in the onion. All these skills you've learned in every karma layer that no longer interest you will now serve you and get to the next layer, but this layer will burn out and it'll no longer be interesting to you. You'll do it, you'll burn it out, and then you'll be like, this thing, and you'll keep doing it for a while. Some of you might be in this situation right now. I'm still doing this thing that used to light me up, and now I'm just not lit up by it. I'm lost and confused. This is time for the men to start. This is why guys come to my boot camp. Often this is like a midlife crisis where you burn through the layer and they're like, fuck, why is this no longer lighting me up? I've worked so many years to get here and now I'm here. Burn through that karma layer. So the next thing, you can still use this ikigai. There'll be a new purpose. There'll be new things you enjoy doing. It'll be you have to go through this purpose process again and again and again in your life, because you'll just feel it'll burn through it and you'll only be interested in it, okay? So I'm gonna go back to this. Find passion, okay? I'm gonna go back to this thing. I started this because I said that this webinar is a way to live a passionate life. A fighting hippies way of looking at a passionate life. Start with a passion. Start with finding passion in your life. Either using Tony Robbins, like anchoring, getting into states, you're enjoying the moment. Realize if you're not enjoying this moment, you can't enjoy the path to finding your purpose. Just you getting the thing, if it is a purpose, a thing you can grab and hold, is not going to make you happy. It's going to be the path. And if you can't find passion to do it, you're going to waste that time. Or that can be part of the journey to finding passion. That might be part of your purpose. But I would make this your first goal. Learn how to enjoy life. If you can't do this part yet, then it doesn't matter if you find your purpose. So I'm going to finish with that. Find passion. Find ways to make this moment fun. For you to smile, for you to light people up. If that's what lights you up, lighting people up, that's part of your purpose, right? The things that light you up. Making money, if that does it for you, fucking go do it. If it's having more sex with women, go do it. If it's whatever the things are, go do the things that light you up, right? You'll feel they'll be aligned with your purpose. So go find passion. Find passion in life, in the moment. And then you'll be guided in that passionate state towards the things that just flow more easily, and they'll be aligned with your purpose. So that's it. Done that one pretty good time, 23 minutes. So that's a thank you. And obviously this is my plug to promote what I do. I run men's mindset boot camps to work on this of many things. But this is the main thing, to find passion in men's life. Men that are feeling lost or stuck or bored in life and they want a bit more fire, we take them into the bush and we work on this sort of stuff in a very embodied personal development way, facing their fears, going through challenging stuff. Anyway, you look up the website if it sounds of interest to you. I do one-on-one coaching as well if you want to work through, if you're feeling stuck in life, you can work through some of this stuff one-on-one via Zoom calls or in person. Extremestillness.com. Hope that serves you, homies. Hope you got some information out of it. And until the next one, keep it real, have fun. See you soon. Peace.